Dear students, today we will be continuing with the chapter Electoral Politics, and today's topic is election campaign. So in the previous classes, when we have already understood that for the election process, the entire system, the country got divided into constituencies, then we have made the voters list ready, then we have also gone for the nomination. Now the people who all are nominated along with the political party, their job is to go for the campaign. Now, why this campaign is required? Why? What is actually the campaign is? The main purpose of election actually is to give people a chance to choose the representative. This is normal, like when we are talking about a democratic country, we are saying that you should be given a chance to choose the representative. And when you are selecting the representatives, these representatives will be forming the government. And the party which is forming the government, because it is not a question of one man playing the role, it's a group of people. So the party who is forming the government, what are their policies? So indirectly, when you are choosing a representative, you are selecting a type of a government, and you are also selecting which political party you are opting for. So this entire process of election is very vital. Now selection and choice happens during the campaign. How? Suppose there are 15 number of political parties. Now these political parties have to prove what they will be bringing up if you are going to give them the vote. Now let us straight away go to the first page of the chapter when we started with the case study of Haryana. Remember that how the most strongest political party, Congress, in spite of being the ruling party of Haryana, lost the vote by getting only 5 seats, and the 60 seats were directly taken up by Lok Dal, just because the leader of the Lok Dal, he promised that I will be waiving off all the loans if you vote for me, because he has touched the weaker section, and the people there, they were waiting to get something like this. Now the selection of and the choice happens during the campaign, because these parties, all these political parties, they have to prove themselves that if you select me, if I am your choice, then what are the things I am going to give you, what you will get from me. And it takes place for 2 weeks. Now this campaign, entire campaign process, it takes place for a 2-week period. From when? It starts from the announcement of the final list of the voters, the candidates. When the nominations are done, when the list of the candidates are ready, then they start the campaign, and the date of polling means it is actually almost 36 hours before the polling, the campaign stops. But now come back to the practicality. Does it really happens before the 2 week? No. You imagine that the next 2021 assembly elections are there, and the political parties right now taking the advantage of the cyclone Amphan or the C-19 pandemic situation. Every party is trying to prove each other. Somewhere or the other, the campaign has already started. Now during the campaign, the political parties try to focus public attention on some big issues. I'll give you a very important example of Sushant Singh committing suicide. Now this issue has taken up a political role. A film actor who has, the people are saying that he did not commit suicide, he has been killed. But if you now open up the social media or the news channels, what is happening in the border of China and India at Doklam, people are least bothered. They are only bothered about what has happened to Sushant Singh Rajput. And why? Because some of the political parties, they are making it an issue. So this always happens. basically the ruling party, the opposition tries to pick up a point from the ruling party and try to prove that they have committed these mistakes. So during the campaign you can make out that actually it is a process of showing up the issues that if I would have been the ruling party in their place, I would have done the situation or dealt with the situation in this manner. This is actually projecting yourself, projecting your party. The campaign is how to project your party. And there are many slogans which typical political parties they follow, like the Congress, they always follow Garibi Hatao, Janata Party, they are following Save Democracy. There are many, every party has got a slogan. Now, seeing the slogan, you can also make out what are the policies of the party. Now, coming up to the end of this topic, there are certain election laws. When I will be discussing, as I always say, you try to match these laws with the current situation, whether these laws are actually applicable. Let us first see. That first law is no political party can bribe or threaten voters. Is it actually happening in a democratic country like India? Voters are threatened like if you go to the rural areas, many of the voters, they are not even allowed to come out of their house, and someone in place of them, they have already casted a vote. There is a cartoon given in your book also where you can see that why you are worried, I have already casted your vote. So the first law, actually the law says that you cannot bribe or threaten a voter. Now before I continue with this, always remember when the nomination form is filled up, there is a code of conduct. Means all the candidates, they have to follow certain code of conduct to be a member of this, to get nominated. And these are the code of conduct. Second is, they cannot appeal to them in the name of caste or religion. We have seen, I don't want to name any political party, but we have seen that taking the name of a religion, a god of a religion, they propagate their party. So they somehow try to project that this party actually deals with only this religion. So that is actually absolutely against the election law. Third, the use government resources for election campaign. No political party can use government resources for election campaign. Is it happening? No. You go to any place and you say most of the government aids are used for election campaign only. Then, very important that they cannot spend more than 25 lakhs for Lok Sabha election per constituency and 10 lakhs for assembly election, Vidhan Sabha election per constituencies. But if you see the data, if you refer to your book, you will see that almost 300 crore rupees were spent out for one election. That's why many a times the people say that for a country like India, elections are very costly. The amount of resources they use for the campaign, each and every party, the banners, the pamphlets, the meetings, the decorations, everything, it costs a huge amount of money. Then they cannot use any place of worship for election propaganda. For example, like church or the temples or mosques cannot be used for propagating a party, political party. And no government vehicles, aircrafts can be used. Now you only tell me, aircrafts, every minister who is the ruling party using the aircrafts going for a visit, and vehicles, they are using only government vehicles, no other vehicles are being used, no personal vehicles are being used. So this is actually totally against the code of conduct, the way. Why I am giving you, the contradictory statement, because what is written is actually the structure of a democratic country. All over the world, people come to India to study what should be the structure, because this is the perfect structure of a democratic country. Nowhere other than India in the world you will find this kind of structure. Unfortunately, we people, not being so educated, being illiterate, we have, created a lot of disputes in the structure. But if you follow the actual structure, you can emerge, like we Indians can emerge one of the best democratic country in the world. And this is the entire process of election. What I was saying, that elections are expensive. Now, just now as I said, that so many resources they use for the campaigning. Now, in book, they have given a contradictory or to compare between whether the elections are really expensive or not. An example they have given, that in the year 2020, Commonwealth Games which had taken place in Delhi, the current estimate of the cost of this game is 2000 crore. Okay. Now, another example they have given, that in 2005, the government decided to buy 6 nuclear submarines from France, and each submarine would have cost 3000 crore. So, buying the submarines, going for an IPL game or a Commonwealth game where you are spending 1000 crore rupees, and then having the elections for the same amount of money. Are the elections really expensive? Think about it. And when I will conduct the live class, I will be expecting an answer from you. I am concluding the class right now. Not to forget, wear mask, drink lot of water, maintain distance, do not touch each other, and stay happy. Thank you so much.